What is going on, guys? Panther here, bringing you our APA Season 1 Wi-Fi battle against Dpad Gamer and the Orlando Serperiors. So I'm bringing you guys a post-com again this week. Didn't have the opportunity again to live-com this battle, but you can see the team we're bringing up on the screen here. We do have a defensive Flame Orb Melodic just to deal with primarily the Mega Absol. I didn't really have anything else on my team that could take on Absol well, except for Melodic. So my plan here, just looking at Dpad's team, was just to lead my Melodic, get the Flame Orb burn off to get the Marvel Scale boost, to be able to tank any hit that he wants to throw at me. I do have a Scarf Excadrill, just because it outspeeds like a Scarf Offensive Rotom or a Scarf Nidoking. Want to be able to outpace and take those guys out. I do have Mold Breaker. Also, you can see at the end of the team I did bring Gigalith as well. So potentially trying to play some mind games there, making Dpad figure out if I'm Mold Breaker or if I'm Sandbrush. We did bring the Gigalith primarily for the Swellow, but as you can see, the Dpad did not bring the Swellow. We do have Focus Sash Gengar. We have Life Orb Jolteon, and then we have an SD Mega Pinsir. So, without any more time, let's go ahead and jump into our Week 2 battle here. So we won Week 1 5-0 against Mightykus and the Boston Beedrills. So hopefully we're able to pick up the second win of the season here in Week 2. Dpad leads with Nidoking, while I go ahead and lead with Aerial, my Melodic, to get my Flame Orb burn. So this is a great situation here for us. First turn, I could Scald here, but I do predict him to go out into the Rotom Wash, so I do just throw off a Toxic, and as you can see, we connect it, and we're able to get a turn 1 Toxic on the Rotom, which is pretty big for us. My team doesn't really mind Rotom all that much. Gigalith doesn't even take that much from defensive Rotom in Sand, since I am fully specially defensive. I can Revenge Kill it with Excadrill, and then I can kind of play games with it with Melodic and a Volt Absorb Jolteon. As you can see here, I predict him actually to Volt Switch out. I go for the Mirror Coat, do a lot of damage there to the Wash Rotom. He does have the Dark Pulse. I'm not sure what he predicted me to go into there. I guess he predicted me to go into Jolteon and get the Volt Absorb on the Volt Switch, so he was a little hesitant to click it. But with that being said, we got that thing down to about half health. I predict him again to Volt Switch here, but I predicted him to go into Absol to absorb the Mirror Coat, so I just go ahead and recover up, get to a nice amount of HP, and the Toxic is taking its toll on the Wash Rotom. So at this point, I'm content with letting him Volt Switch out and me just keep recovering up. This is a battle that I can win. I can stall him out of this. So he can keep T-Bolt, and if he wants to try to get the crit on me to take me out, that's fine. That's a chance I guess I'm willing to take. Melodic's really important to my team, but I don't have anything else really I want to switch into this. I guess I could have went out the Jolteon, trying to predict, but again, it just wasn't really worth it to me, just because I knew even if he Volt Switched out, I would be at a decent amount of health after the recover, and nothing can really touch me on his team aside from like Bloom Doom Heatran or Thunderbolt Mega Absol. So as you can see, I just keep clicking recover. This Rotom, I believe, was a defensive Rotom with T-Bolt, so it obviously was doing quite a bit with that. But the Rotom finally does go down to the Toxic. So Dpad was actually saying that he was just trying to get rid of Melodic at this point. He knew, and this is something I did not know at this point, that his Nidoking set was not going to be able to take on the Melodic. So he was doing what he had to do to put himself in a position to win this game. So he goes out in Absol here. Not the greatest of matchup you would typically think, since I built Melodic to take on this thing. Wasn't sure what he wanted to do. I knew he could Swords Dance here, but I just wanted to go ahead and get off the recover, because if he knocked and got rid of my Flame Orb, we take the following knockoff so much better. If he did Swords Dance with the recover, I still live. I still, can take at least one of knockoff. So I just wanted to go ahead and recover, kind of scout out what he wanted to do. If he SD'd, that was fine. If he knocked, that was fine. Either way. So here, he actually goes for a second Swords Dance, and I just fire off the Scald. And as soon as I fired off the Scald, I knew it was going to do about 50%, but I was really hoping for the burn. And as you can see, we actually get the burn on the Mega Absol. So that was huge on our part. Unfortunate for Dpad, yes. Now, if, let's say I would not have burned there, this following turn, I'd probably go out to Gigalith, sack it off since it doesn't do much here in this match since he didn't bring Swellow. And then I probably go out to my Jolteon and sub up on it, or I go out to Pinsir and quick attack it, something like that, just to finish this guy off, or just out into the Focus Sash Gengar, just go ahead and sack it Sash. So, it's unfortunate for Dpad, but it wasn't a good game there by any means, even if he didn't get burned there. I would have kept Melodic around definitely to deal with his other mons. So he goes out to Cofagrigus here. I just want to recover up, just to kind of scout and see what he wanted to do. I know he could definitely have Hex. Wasn't really too concerned with that, because you can obviously see, even with the burn damage, it's still not doing enough. I can sitting here all day and still recover on this thing. He can't 2-hit KO me. He predicts the Toxic coming here, which, why wouldn't I go for the Toxic just so I can sit there and just recover up on it? He goes under Nidoking, which is a great play on his part. So Life Orb Nidoking definitely takes me out here. With a special Life Orb Nidoking definitely takes me out. So I wanted to kind of scout and see what he wanted to do. And as we quickly find out here, turns out that this thing is actually a Choice Scarf physical Nidoking. Knew it was Scarf just kind of based on that damage. Figured it could potentially be Scarf. I wasn't really expecting physical Scarf, but definitely makes sense. So I just decided to let Gigalith go down. It really doesn't do anything here in this. It really can't 1v1 anything that Dpad has left on his team. So I sack it off here. I go out into Excadrill, hoping that he would just stay in and let me kill his Nidoking here. Turns out he does not do that, though. He can go out into Fortress, or he can go out into the Cofagrigus and take I think this is a 3-hit KO from my Scarf Excadrill here. And as you can see, yeah, it's just not doing enough damage to it. But we're still in a good position this match. We are up 5-4, and we've lost only the least most valuable member of our team, which is Gigalith here at this point. So I'm in a good spot. I don't want to get burned here. I know the Will-O-Wisp is probably incoming. So I go out to, I could have went out to Melodic there, but it just would have turned into a big stall fest again. So I wanted to put a little more offensive pressure on. So I went out to my Jolteon here. So I figured there was a strong chance that he could go into Nidoking here. I do have the substitute for the Mega Absol, just in case it came down to it. All I really needed was my Electric Stab here, and then the HP Ground for Nidoking and Heatran, which I am packing. But then I also have Sub, just in case it came down to Sucker Punch Mind games with the Mega Absol. So I decided to sub here to see if he wants to go out into Nidoking, so then I could bop it next turn, because I knew it was Choice Scarf at this point. I knew it was a very good chance of it being Choice Scarf, and I wanted to do as much damage as possible. So I get my sub up. I'm safely behind the sub, except I'm almost at half health just from the burn and the sandstorm and the substitute damage. Fire off the Thunderbolt. Life Orb Thunderbolt does a ton to Fortress here, and he just goes for the Earthquake to break my sub. So that's unfortunate that he does have the Earthquake to break the sub. I don't think Gyro Ball actually did. So here in this next turn, actually forget. I didn't see an item on this thing, so I was like, this thing's probably Custap, and I don't really want to take the Explosion or anything like that, or Self-Destruct. So let's just go out into Melodic here to absorb it and recover the next turn. So I go out into my Melodic here, and he doesn't do that. I'm sitting here making this video now, I realize that Custap's unreleased, so no way he could have had the Custap. But it's not a bad play overall because this does give me my recover with Melodic here. I can just recover off. Also, didn't want to stand with Jolteon. My idea was that he was cussed at, but it wasn't a bad play anyways because he could freely win out into Nidoking there. So he's content with sacking his fortress here by the looks of it. I just want to get to as much health as possible to help me take on that Nidoking a little bit better, because Nidoking is going to be scary for my team at this point if Melodic is not around. Now, Melodic takes it on fantastic, but especially since it's physical without like Thunder or Thunderbolt or anything like that. But I just want to get up to a good amount of health. So here I'm in a position next turn where I can just knock out the Fortress with the Scald. He doesn't have anything he wants to switch into the Scald, so go ahead and Melodic picks up its third kill of this match. It's already knocked out the Wash Rotom, the Fortress, and now the Absol. So Melodic's off to a great start this season in kills. I think that's its 5th kill of the season in 2 games. As you can see here, he goes with the Clefables. I just get the Toxic off on it. I want to put the Sting on a timer. I don't want the Sting playing pain split games with me or anything like that. I know Scald's not going to do a lot, and I would much rather have the Toxic on it as opposed to like a Scald burn. So this part of the battle definitely gets a little stally here. As you can see, with I was just kind of going back and forth with the attacking moves / recover moves, and then the burn, and then the leftovers, and then the poison. So a lot of back and forth here. Definitely a stallier part of the battle, but Melodic's sitting in an excellent shape. I mean, he really doesn't have anything for Melodic here at this point. I would think, if he did like have the Bloom Doom Heatran, he would have probably went out to it by now. But it looks like what Dpad's really just trying to do is get my Melodic at a low enough health to where Nidoking can finish taking it out. But all he has at this point is Nidoking, Heatran, and then the Clefagus left. So I know I've got to keep my Melodic at a pretty substantial amount of health just to take on that Nidoking, because Scarf Nidoking's Earthquake just, decimates the rest of my team. Minus the Pinsir and minus the Pinsir before the Mega Evolution, of course. So this thing's quite annoying with the Pain Split and all, but I'm still in a really good position. I can just sit here and just keep Pain Splitting up. The toxic damage is going to keep racking up on Clefagus, so it's a losing battle for him trying to 1v1 my Melodic, because like I said, I can just keep recovering up all day, and this Clefagus can't really do too much about it. So we're game plan's the same. I think this has been 6 or 7 turns now of just us going back and forth. Scald, Pain Split, Hex, and it's not going to end until this Clefagus dies, I'm pretty sure. Now, last week I made a kind of a gutsy play into Jolteon, but I was a little hesitant about doing that in this match. Because if I would have done that, my Melodic's going to be at about half health. It's putting it to the point where it couldn't switch in on Nidoking. I just really didn't want to put myself in that position. I wanted to be at a good amount of health, and this thing really not be able to touch me. So, I'm back at almost at full health here. His hexes, you can see his hexes are doing about, what's that? 60 damage or so each time that he clicks it. But the burn damage on me is definitely helping him out as well. Just trying to chip me down. So he finally puts himself in a position to where I can just knock him out with a Scald. And I decided just to do that here. I'm at 118 health. I'm a little bit over half. So I feel comfortable, kind of playing around Nidoking with Melodic. So that is Melodic's 4th kill of this match. It's knocked out the Absol, the Wash Rotom, the Fortress, and the Clefagus by itself. So really excited about that. At this point, he goes out into Heatran. I still didn't know if he was Bloom Doom or not. Wanted to play safe. So I just decided to sack off my my Volcanion, my Jolteon here. Goes to the Dragon Pulse. My health goes down really slowly for some reason. So I was hoping I would live just to get off that big HP ground. which you'll see would have helped. So he knocks out my Jolteon. I go out my Excadrill. I'm like, this thing, there's a good chance that this thing could be Shuka, but I don't really have too much else I want to do to this. So he EV'd this thing to actually live the Scarf Earthquake from my Excadrill, which is a great prep on Dpad's part. This all of a sudden goes from a 5-2 to a 3-2 just like that, because that Lava Plume is definitely going to be enough to knock me out there. So great prep on Dpad's part. I thought I had the 4-0 win right there with Excadrill, but that's unfortunate. I go out into Pinsir here just to kind of mop this game up. He can't really do much to me at this point. I do have the close combat, so I'm up 3-0 at this point. I go for what I think is close combat, and I misclick into return here, and as you can see, that is not going to be enough to knock it out, and it ends up costing me my Mega Pinsir, which is pretty huge as far as differential goes. That was a 3-0 win right there on my part. So that really hurts, because then it really puts me in a bad position now. So I have to go out into my Gengar, my Focus Sash Gengar. I just have Gengar and Melodic left now, and knock this thing out with the Shadow Ball. So really unfortunate that I lost Pinsir there, because I could have close combated, picked up the kill on that thing, and then I could have I would have calced it out. I don't believe I'd calc that far ahead yet, but I'm pretty sure I live a Poison Jab from the Pinsir, and then if he locks himself into Poison Jab, of course, he can't take care of the Melodic or the Gengar. So I am sashed. I should have Destiny Bonded here, but I'm not really sure why I didn't. But turns out to be a fair play, because he ends up getting Curse Bodied. I hit him with the big Shadow Ball there, knock him down pretty low. He struggles. Curse Body coming in clutch, confirming that he's Choice Scarf at this point. Knocks out my Gengar, and now it's 1-1. And we just have to hope that Melodic lives the struggle from the Nidoking, which we're absolutely going to live the struggle from the Nidoking. But it's really funny to see a game end like that. So unfortunate misclick there, cost us some pretty big differential, but at the end of the day, it's we still do come out on top with the win. So that was really important, just to finish closing that game out after that unfortunate misclick. Melodic was a monster there that match, picked up several kills, and then the Focus Sash Gengar definitely came in clutch as well, getting the Curse Body off. Definitely MVP of that match was Melodic. Not a lot of other mons did much. I really expected Excadrill to go off this match. It really didn't. Just getting eaten up by that Heatran's Shuka. I expected Jolteon to do a lot. It did do some damage to the Fortress. Definitely expected Pinsir to do quite a bit as well. But that was more on me. It was more on the trainer's portion than the actual Pokemon's portion. I would have ordered it to do the right move. We would have been okay. But anyways, so that puts us at 2-0 plus 6 going into week 3 against Phantom Base, who is also 2-0. Don't remember his differential off the top of my head. I think it's plus 4. I want to say it's plus 4, maybe plus 5 or 6, something like that. So it's going to be a really good match next week. Really excited to play Phantom. Hopefully we'll be able to get the live combat battle as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button down below. And, be sure to show your support in the comment section. And thank you guys again for watching. But until next time, we'll see you. Thanks for watching again.